Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. So Manchester United have beaten Rangers 2-0 at Midfield in their second game of the pre-season so far. And we head to America in the next leg for that pre-season tour in the States, where we will be with Stretford Paddock, LA, San Diego and South Carolina. I cannot wait. If you're out there, we will see you there. But United won today thanks to goals from Amad Diallo, who I thought was fantastic in those first 45 minutes. And of course, Hugo in the second half as well with a fantastic finish of his own. But today was all about Leny Yoro making his Manchester United debut, and what a debut it was. Look, we're not going to get over the top. We're not going to get carried away. Or am I? Am I about to say I've just seen the best defender in the world? I don't know. Who knows? We're going to get stuck into that review very, very soon. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, you're liking, you're commenting, you're sharing as well, and keep it locked to the channel. As I said, we're heading out there to that tour. I'll have plenty of content coming up for you from America, so make sure you're keeping it locked for that. Manchester United today, though, at Midfield against Rangers. The lineup that we had was Leny Yoro and Johnny Evans at centre-back. Now listen to this. Leny Yoro was born in 2005. Johnny Evans made his Manchester United debut in 2007 when Leny Yoro wasn't even 2 yet. Incredible stuff, and they start together here today at Midfield. We had Murray at left back. I thought he did well as well for a young lad. And we had Wan-Bissaka at right back with Andre Onana in goal, who Andre Onana I thought was pretty good with his distribution, and he made a few saves as well. He completed 90 minutes. Ahead of them, we had Casemiro, we had Collier, we had Mount, we had Amad, we had Sancho, and we had Wheatley too. Now, we'll get on to Leny Yoro's performance, but I thought Wheatley was really good in terms of how he handled himself, in terms of, you know, with his back to goal, giving his defenders a hard time, giving them a difficult occasion, fouling some of them sometimes when he had to, aerially getting involved. And his first touch and his ability to bring others into play, I thought was incredible. Him and Amad Diallo had some times where they linked up and the passing looked really, really good. United today looked a lot better than we did in the last game. Obviously, it helps when you have more first teamers out there, but we looked a lot better today than we did in that last game. Behind them, we had the likes of Amad Diallo, we had Mount, and we had Sancho. Mason Mount looking energetic, looking busy. Great to see him have a full pre-season for Manchester United, and touch wood, that continues. In our goal for Amad Diallo, I thought he was great at winning the ball back and bringing it forward, getting the ball to Amad Diallo, who cut in and shot with his left foot into the corner. Now, Amad Diallo today was arguably Manchester United's best player, I think, outfield anyway, because I thought Andre Onana probably got it in terms of man of the match himself. Thought he was really good. But Amad Diallo, everything seemed to flow through him. His first touch was immaculate. His ball control, his technical ability to get out of tight spaces, really, really good. His decision when to release the ball. He'll come deep to win the ball back with his back to goal. His strength, it looks like he's growing a little bit as well, which is fantastic for him, because you know he was a little bit on the short side. His strength and ability with his back to goal, holding the ball up, bringing others in, spinning, making those runs into the flank and into those channels. I thought Amad Diallo was very, very good today. And there's a lot of talk about who's going to be playing on that right. Is it going to be Garnacho? Is it going to be Sancho? Is it going to be Amad? Well, Amad's just put his name in the hat. And he's probably first and top of that list at the moment. Because like we said, one of the aforementioned there, Jadon Sancho, he still has a lot to do for Manchester United. And look, today was his first game back, so we're not going to judge it too much. And I thought there was a few occasions when he had a few nice touches. I think Sancho's always going to look like that, though, because he is a very technically gifted footballer. His first touch is very good. He very rarely wastes the ball. But you want a little bit more of him in terms of, once you beat that defender, get him behind. Change the pace up a little bit. We don't get that change of pace too often with him. But I thought it was a decent start for his return. Is it enough to make us think we can forget all about last season? Who knows? I think he has to put those performances in. Unless he puts performances in, people are always going to have that in the back of their minds, I think. But I don't know what's going on with him and Ten Hag. We had this discussion, myself, Jay and Joe. A lot of them feel like United are protecting his value and kind of forcing him into the squad in order to protect his value and maybe still sell him. But I just don't feel like the manager would take that. Like, I don't think like the manager would go, right, this guy hasn't apologised, I'll bring him back in just to kind of sell him, because what would that do to the club? What would that do to the team? What kind of message does that send? So I do feel like hopefully there's been some sort of resolution here. You know, they've patched things up and we can move forward positively, but there is still that air of unknown hanging with Jadon Sancho. Maybe it's resolved behind the scenes and that's just outside where we're kind of thinking, what's going on here? But there is still a little bit of that there. Collier did well. And I thought Casemiro, in terms of the first team players, Casemiro now, I believe he started and he didn't look too good. He looked a bit rash like he did in the first game, but he grew into the game. And there was some times where we were just pinging the ball around, just pop, 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 pop. And he looked good in that. Then he plays those passes out wide. And his range was probably off a little bit. But there were some good signs there from Casemiro winning the ball back as well. And I've got a feeling we're still going to have Casemiro next season. Is he going to be the one starting? Are we still going to be able to get someone like Manuel Ugarte? Who knows? But if Casemiro is going to be here next season, we need to have him fit and ready. Now, a lot of last season, I think he was a little bit rash. He was a little bit, doing crazy things at times. But I do think a little bit of that. Obviously, he has to take responsibility. He's aging, his legs are going. But I also felt we were so open defensively that it didn't help him play his best football. If we can shore things up behind him and you've got the likes of Leny Yoro, Lisandro Martinez, etc., then maybe we can see a much improved Casemiro. Talking about Leny Yoro, the guy's the bollocks. I've seen 45 minutes from him and I'm already convinced. You just look at a player sometimes and the eye test never lies. His first touch, bringing it down, getting the ball out of his feet, his passing ability, his coolness, his calmness, his strength, his pace. He all got tested there in the first 45 minutes and he looked really, really good. Now, still a long way to go and still has to do loads more. But sometimes you just know a player's got it. And I look at Leny Yoro, and I know it was 45 minutes in a pre-season friendly against Rangers, yes. But he just looks like a player. He just proper looks like a player, and he looks like someone that will help us massively in terms of pressing, in terms of winning the ball back early, but also in terms of that build-up play. One of the things that Manchester United lost when we didn't have Lisandro Martinez was available, was someone to pass the ball. If you've got Leny Yoro and Lisandro Martinez, you've got two players that can get the ball out of their feet. Now, Leny Yoro still has a long way to go, still has a lot to improve on, of course, but the potential is clearly there. And I've seen it all in 45 minutes, trust me. I think Onana did well today as well, which was good to see. Second half, Manchester United get a good goal through Joe Hugill. The pass to him from Oguneye, I thought was from Ayadele, was very, very good as well. It was a great pass, great finish from Hugill. But second half, that team is a mishmash of academy players and players that have never played for the first team before, apart from Andre Onana. The first half was the test that the first team needed, and hopefully we got to see it. But the main thing today was about Leny Yoro's debut. And look, I'm not going to get carried away or anything and go tweeting that I think he's the best defender I've ever seen. May have already done that. But the boy's a player. And we've got one there. Now we need to get a few more through the door. Who's going to be next? After Joshua Zirkzee, Leny Yoro. There's talk about Manuel Ugarte. That's still rumbling around. There's been links with Scott McTominay potentially leaving the club. And it looks like it could be a McTominay leaving, Ugarte coming in. We got linked with a Spanish lad yesterday as well. What's his name? Zuba Ramendi. If we can go and get him, I'd actually probably prefer him over Manuel Ugarte, to be honest. But he'd be a player as well for this team. We need to get that position sorted out. Get that DM position sorted out. Maybe bring in a few others as well. What's going to happen at left back? Is Terrell Malacia going to be fit? Is Luke Shaw going to be fit? We've still got areas we need to improve. But so far, so good this pre-season. So far, so good in the transfer window. And roll on LA and the US of A. Cannot wait to be out there. But thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're keeping it locked. I'll see you in a bit.